The 2016 Biennial was the largest and most ambitious exhibition organized by BRIC to date. The works of 40 artists, all based in Bedford-Stuyvesant and Crown Heights, were curated by Elizabeth Ferrer and assistant curator Jenny Giroux. The Biennial was exhibited at 4 separate Brooklyn locations: BRIC House, Weeksville Heritage Center, FiveMyles, and the Brooklyn Public Library. The bulk of the BRIC Biennial was exhibited at BRIC House. Here, the focus was on the theme Affective Bodies.
Affective Bodies draws on affect theory, a way of thinking about human behavior that places more emphasis on the subconscious and intuition rather than on the intellect or learned behavior. It is about those sensations that are felt and that are very real, but that may be hard to describe in words. Affect theory has been valuable to artists whose work explores the body, our relation to others, or how we act in the world. Hammer of Witches, Pairs of Anguish is an installation that is full of references to witchcraft. The artist, Macon Reed, is talking about the vulnerability of the female body, whether in the Middle Ages or in the present day. Her bright colors and playful forms belie the way that institutions, whether the Catholic Church or capitalist systems, have persecuted or oppressed women.
All of our persecution of midwives, abortion, homosexuality started to be stigmatized and very, very much targeted by the state and the church. So it was actually more about having workers that they could exploit than the way that the narrative around it is discussed today.
Through performance, sculpture, and trap music, Aisha Tandiwebel explores the challenges and the entrapment of the Black body. Her lyrics project the grandiose dreams of drug culture and the reality of people entrapped by it, whether it's poverty, public housing, or the prison industrial system.
Trick, 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 trick out this trap.
I mean, it's kind of like a loose biographical idea that I think of when I put the materials together.
Aisha's tricked out traps, cardboard boxes outfitted in velvet, kente cloth, and pieces of the American flag, take on their own identity.
He's a he, the box. Right now, he'd be about 70 years old. He was involved in the Black Power movement, rocked the dashiki. He got a lot of time for carrying some marijuana, being a person of color, getting way more time for some marijuana than anyone else. Even the gold rope that is tied, you can pull the lean-to and you can close it. You can trap something in it.
Trick out this trap.
Sol Sachs has created his monumental installation with used blue jeans that climb a structural pillar in the gallery. His work evokes the blues, the black and blue of slavery and of police brutality, and the culture of survival, the DNA thread of a race of people.
These hand-me-down black and blue jeans have been wrapped, rocked, and rolled in the blues. These bound jeans have been tapped by wires and caught on tape. Red tape, videotape, and audio tape. As the tapes circulate, the issue rise and bruise like a storm in the form of these reborn black and blue jeans. Family Ties also binds these stress-tested jeans to United States history from slavery to the penitentiary. These jeans are resistant against the home of the convict and the land of the scared supremacist.
Kambui Olajimi's project for the Biennial is an installation that focuses on Miss Catherine Arlene, a longtime Bed-Stuy resident and neighborhood activist who passed away in 2014. The doors and other items from Miss Arlene's house form a shrine to a beloved elder that evokes her passion for helping her community in the face of gentrification.
If affect is the biennial's formal concern, beneath it lurks the question of belonging. In The Lived City at Weeksville, site of Brooklyn's first free black community, the artists are less concerned with gender or race than they are with their place in the community.
The artists address the effective infrastructures that shape the negotiation of public space. From celebrations of Black life and community, to reflections on violence, to imagined dystopian futures. Drawing on his background in design and architecture, Adrian Coleman paints derelict lots, buildings in the process of construction, and both real and imagined interior spaces that suggest the tension between old and new and the diversity of ways of life in Brooklyn. Russell Frederick's portraits of Bedford-Stuyvesant residents began as a personal project almost 20 years ago. The joys and moments of shared solitude in these photographs contrast with the aesthetic representations of African American suffering and narratives of violence that have dominated media portrayals of this neighborhood.
Translations and Annotations at the main branch of the Brooklyn Public Library takes a much more literary and symbolic approach. Using existing texts and documents as source material, the artists reflect on personal loss, social issues, and reimagining the self.
Kumasi Barnett's The Amazing Black Man series reframes issues like police violence and racial stereotypes within the genre of the comic book. Barnett's appropriated and reworked covers re-envisioned the simplistic contests of good and evil that often underline these stories. Aaron Beebe's works question the accepted authority of the map. His notes to the reader on these works create a sense of subjectivity in a document typically treated as objective truth. In Lost in Translation, Asuka Goto attempts to translate a novel written by her father in the 1970s from Japanese to English. The process of translation becomes both a journey into a language that is not hers and a way to get closer to a father she hardly knew.
The biennial offers more artistic approaches around these complex issues than a simplistic narrative of urban change can possibly contain.